and I was basically a monk. I was not dating. I actually intentionally stopped dating. I was actually celibate during this time, and I was pursuing my inner journey very deeply. I was healing a lot of just wounds and traumas that I experienced, things that I witnessed as a kid that I didn't like, all that kind of stuff. So I did all that healing work. And I really wanted to be with a life partner.
You were intentional.
And despite my best efforts, I was not good at relationships. And so how do I become exceptional at something that I'm not good at? I hated having my time controlled by other people. I hated to have to ask for permission to take like a day off or to get a vacation. I hated having to be somewhere, that 9 to 5, 8 to 4 type of schedule. It just never sat right with me. Spiritually, my personality, just who I am, I'm just not meant for that.
Yeah.
So I knew that early on in my early mid-20s. So if not that, then what? And I didn't have a lot of skills. I wasn't someone who, I was a social work major in college. I didn't study business. I didn't study marketing. I didn't study branding or any of that type of stuff. I just knew I wanted to be my own boss. It flattened me and woke me up, and it was beautiful. I was maybe a year into my marriage, and my wife and I got together, and really my wife was a catalyst for a lot of this. She's like, there's gotta be another way. This can't be how we do life. And probably the greatest achievement of my life is this relationship.
That's powerful.
Hands down. I've made millions of dollars, and I've live in a fantastic home, and I have an incredible life in many ways, but this was the single greatest accomplishment I've ever pulled off.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Today I'm here hoping to be able to interview Joey Wilder. He is the creator, inventor, founder, you name it.
We have Joey Wilder, first time coming on the show.
But at that moment, I had a choice to make. I either hit this while it's hot, while people are hyped up about it, or kind of let it simmer out. And I've been told by many great mentors that it's all about the timing of things. Welcome back to another episode. I'm here with my friend Matt, and we're going to talk a little bit about Matt's journey. But I would love to just hear a little bit, who are you? Where do you live? What's your mission currently?
Sure. I'm Matt Winkley. I'm a cautious entrepreneur. I've built several successful companies in the healthcare and real estate space. I also have a big history in meditation. I went to a school called the University of Spiritual Healing and Sufism. So I call myself a businessman and a mystic. And I've been able to combine those worlds and it just create me.
I love it.
My current mission is, and let me just back up a little bit, is that one of the companies that I built, the healthcare company, we ended up scaling that out of the apartment from 0 to 200 employees, eventually selling that company to private equity in 2018, which allowed me to essentially create incredible freedom in my life. Been able to basically retire since then.
Yeah.
I did a lot of fun things, bucket list type stuff, but now I'm in a point where I want to really give back. I want to help other people find their freedom.
Yeah.
And so I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and CEOs and doing business coaching and mentoring, helping them to fix issues in their companies, to be able to create efficiencies, but also to create a vision for where the leaders want to take that company, and oftentimes working with the founders who want to do a scale and sell, and so I help them with a lot of those strategies.
Love it, man. Every entrepreneur's dream.
Yeah,
go into a position.
Living the dream. And I live in San Diego, California, beautiful home near the beach. My wife and I have an amazing marriage.
Yeah.
We've been married for 15 years as of recording this. and I'm about to have my first child and my first son.
Congratulations
And
on that.
so, yeah, that's a whole other chapter I'm just incredibly excited about. And so happy to dive into any of those areas, unpack anything, go deep on anything.
Yeah,
and
it's such
that's
a
a little
fun
bit about me.
Yeah, such a fun 2-inch punt. It's like you've been asked this before. So take me back to 2005 was when
The founding.
the founding of the company. Where did that come from? Like,
Well, to take it even further, I grew up in a small town in Connecticut, a small little farm town in New England, and my biggest dream at that point was to just escape small town-ism. I never really had been anywhere, experienced anything, and I just had I just had a big dreams and wanted a bigger life than what that town could offer me. It's a beautiful place to grow up. It's very safe. There's a lot of pros, but I wanted to see the world. I wanted adventure. I wanted a big life. And so after I graduated college, I basically booked a one-way ticket to California. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. I didn't really know anyone. I had very little money, but I had a dream. And I wanted to live in paradise full time. Like, that's all I could think of. So I ended up here in San Diego and rented a room in a house, and I couldn't believe I was living in paradise with other paradise seekers.
Yeah.
I was so inspired from my environment, and I think that's really critical, is to find an environment that inspires you, that you want to live in, that brings you joy, that brings you happiness. I was able to be outdoors year-round out here. I was a marathon runner and a triathlete, and I loved training outside year-round versus those cold, harsh winters in New England. So it was the perfect place for me. Like, my spirit felt so at home here. So that was dream number one. And then I'm like, okay, how am I going to pay for this life?
Yeah.
How am I going to live here? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to, so on and so on. I had about enough money to get by for about a month or two in rent. But after that, I was strapped. And so I was like, what am I going to do? What do I know what to do? And that's when I started to think about, and I took a couple of part-time jobs here, full-time job here, just to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But my dream really was to be my own boss.
Yeah.
Was to do things that matter and to figure out how money worked. I hated working for other people. It's just not me. I hated having my time controlled by other people. I hated to have to ask for permission to take like a day off or to get a vacation. I hated having to be somewhere, that 9 to 5, 8 to 4 type of schedule. It just never sat right with me. Spiritually, my personality, just who I am, I'm just not meant for that.
Yeah.
So I knew that early on in my early mid-20s. So if not that, then what? And I didn't have a lot of skills. I wasn't someone who, I was a social work major at college. I didn't study business. I didn't study marketing. I didn't study branding or any of that type of stuff. I just knew I wanted to be my own boss. So what did I know? What was I good at? I was good at empathy. I was social work. I was good at people. I was good, and I worked for my summers off in school when I was a kid. I worked with folks with developmental disabilities like autism, and I was really good working with that population. And I'm like, is there something I could build around this? And so and I had a business partner. He was a great guy, still one of my best friends. Really, really important to pick your partners wisely.
Yeah.
We said, how do we I'm like, okay, so I'm good at working with kids with autism. How can I create a business around that? So we came up with some program ideas, like a surf camp, like a mentoring program, like social clubs to help them develop socially and things like that, things that were pain points in that community. And we put a website up advertising these programs, and the phone rang. and I'd be sitting in my small little 900 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Exciting Steps. How may I help you? Right? Like, oh, I'm interested in your surf camp. I'm like, oh, great. Hold, please.
Hello.
Yeah, how can I help you? Are you interested? Like, I just faked it till I could make it, you know, and I wanted to be viewed as credible, but I didn't have any money for an office. I didn't have any startup money at all, and we didn't have any capital.
Yeah. 2005, I'm not sure the SBA was around.
Yeah, there wasn't, and social media wasn't really around yet, and internet was barely going. You know, there was no like remote jobs.
Y2K was 5 years before.
Yeah, it was early, and so. Like SEO just got like kind of started with Google that was kind of the thing. So I had a second job to pay the bills while I'm trying to hustle to get this business off the ground. And that was, you know, working 80, 100-hour work weeks, you know, working 40 hours in my job to pay for my life, and then another 40 plus and working in my hustle. And so that was grueling and grinding, and I failed a lot, and there was a lot of didn't know how to do this, and so I did it the wrong way. Then I had to go back and do it the right way, and all this stuff. So it was like on the fly business school.
Yeah,
like just
figuring it out.
Thrown into the fire, learning how to do marketing, learning how to do sales, learning how to set up systems, learning organizational development, learning how to be a leader at 25, 26, 27 years old, hiring people, learning how to do that, you know, all learning how to build a work culture, you know, I think it was my greatest strength not having that knowledge, because I just instinctually did what felt right. And at the time I was a meditator and like getting deep into that world. And so I wanted to come from the heart and do things that were like heart-centered, that were full of integrity, that we could trust in a mission that was bigger than us, trust in something that was bigger than us, trust each other, you know, in our company and our customers and our employees. That was all kind of fairly new. This was before Simon Sinek's Start With Why.
Yeah.
This was before like a lot of that stuff became popularized. And of course I was happy to see things starting to happen in the business environments as you know, we were just experimenting.
Yeah.
And so eventually was able through a lot of work, build it up. It took about 5 or 6 years.
Okay. So 2010, 2011.
About 2011.
Okay.
So let's say 2011. It took me from 2005 to 2011 to finally let go of my job.
Okay. You're telling me it didn't happen overnight.
Did not happen overnight.
Oh, man.
Where I was able to finally, because I reinvested. I had no startup capital. We reinvested everything we made back into the business. So I paid, my employees made more money than me because I was just living off my job, and I needed their help to go further.
Yeah.
So we needed to invest in a team, and so I was doing that. But by about 2011, 2012, we finally broke through. We figured out how to scale the company, and then it went fast. And then it went from a handful of employees to like 200 employees within it, which felt like a few years. We were able to unlock a specific funding source. You know, we were doing insurance reimbursements. We became a healthcare company. We became organized, opened up clinics, and did clinic treatment, in-home care.
So you opened up basically an entire different like avenue.
From where we started to where we ended up was, you know, started out private pay, doing a lot of that, just trying to figure it out. And then we started to see really the direction we need to go, and if we're going to be sustainable, we need to find sustainable funding. Private pay is somewhat of a hard, limited thing. It's you know, therapy can be expensive, and so being able to offset that and bring more people into our clinics was game changer. Yeah, and that's where we took off and had like basically, you know, wait list until the end. Yeah, we couldn't meet up. We couldn't handle the demand that we had. It was just so big.
That's such a good dogma to have.
Yeah, it was a great problem to have, and then it became about how to set up a culture and how to create. We were heavy human capital type business where we had a lot of therapists that we hired to implement the treatment plans that we for our customers, our patients, and so we needed to hire a lot of people to do that, create those sort of billable hours, and it was about how do you treat people. It was how to care for people essentially. That was the kind of business that we are in, and so having a background and empathy and compassion and meditation really played to a strength for me, and being able to be in such a heavy people-oriented type of work where I actually sincerely cared about our patients. We wanted to see success. We wanted to see breakthroughs. I cared deeply about the people that we worked with, our employees. They were like family. And so we created a culture around those values. And we were driven by those values, and those values were how we made decisions about how to connect to our highest intentions, how to have integrity in our decision making, how to foster unity, how to achieve excellence. Those types of values were like crucial in how we were guided and how we behaved, and held us accountable.
It's like a foundational
totally block. And I learned a lot how to be a leader, how to develop leaders, how to eventually we had to create all these different departments in the company, and we did it, and it was a team effort, and we attracted amazing people. Our leadership team I still hold dearly in my heart. They were just incredibly talented, ambitious.
You just had them here for a dinner, didn't you?
Yeah, after we sold the company, like a year later, we were able to get together and kind of recap and see how people were doing, and I still stay in touch with some of them, and but part of the reason, if I'm diving deeper into why would I sell a company in my 30s that had such a promise that could be the rest of my career, building this was that kind of a company that could be a legacy type company, was difficult. It was really related towards a health issue that arose from just chronic, intense stress. Working 100-hour work weeks for 5 or 6 years, basically taking no days off, hardly any days off, while I was also physically doing my training. I also, during that period, ran marathons and triathlons. I don't know how I did it. It was insane to think. It was just, I was under so much physical and emotional, spiritual stress, and I eventually collapsed at 31 years old from chronic fatigue. I was exhausted. I could hardly move or hardly get out of bed. It was the wake-up call of a lifetime for me. It totally course-corrected my life. Totally brought me into alignment with a bigger purpose for me. It totally showed me the blind spots that I could not see, of where I was out of balance, where I was not paying attention or being aware of my body and what my body's needs were, instead of treating it like a robot or a machine. Just
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Right, I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of stuff. And it was just, I was in that kind of hustle mode. Man. If you want to talk about hustle culture, that was the epitome. It was a poster child of hustle culture. I was so determined to achieve my dreams, my goals at that time of what I thought they were. They changed after out of a forced change, right? Do you want the wake up call of a light touch of a feather? You want the brick? Or do you want the semi truck? Right?
You got
I got steamrolled by a semi, and flattened me and woke me up, and it was beautiful. I was maybe a year into my marriage, and my wife and I got together, and really my wife was a catalyst for a lot of this. She's like, there's got to be another way. This can't be how we do life. And we grind ourselves into a pulp, for the next 30 years. and just survive, there has to be another way. This
Great partner.
cannot be what the definition of a flourishing, thriving, meaningful life looks like. All you do is work.
Yeah.
And so we started to ask deeper questions, like, what do we really want? If we don't want that, then what do we really, really want? And what we started to put on the table was, we really want to raise the bar of happiness in our lives. We want to go from unfulfilled to fulfilled. We want to go from, empty tanks to full tanks, right? Of energy and vitality. We want to go from lack of freedom to complete freedom. And what would that look like if we could achieve freedom, where we could do whatever we wanted to do? We could live wherever we wanted to live. We could travel. We could spend time with people that we care about. Our families didn't live near us. Hardly had a chance to see them. We could wake up in the morning and pursue our passions full time and use just time freedom.
Yeah.
And use time the way we see fit. And we could give back to charities with our time or with our resources. We could pay it forward, in a way that felt really good to us. Like all those things. If we started a family, we could be very present parents instead of just having to outsource parenting through daycare and babysitters and schools, where maybe we homeschool our kids. Maybe we take our kids on the road. Maybe there's a new way of raising kids where two parents are at home.
Yeah, the nuclear family looks much different.
Where like we wanted that so badly, and that became my new dream was freedom. How do we do that? We were two middle class people that all I knew that I saw growing up was you work hard. That's it. If you want to get ahead, you just work harder than the next person. And you just work hard. That was it. Yeah. There was no like strategy to it. There was no like, this is the most effective, efficient way to do it. This is there was no financial literacy. I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know how money worked. All I knew is you work hard, and if you work hard enough, you'll get more to get by.
Yeah.
And eventually, hopefully at the end, you get to retire at 70 or 80 or something.
59
you're still alive,
and you
right?
get your Roth IRA.
Or whatever. Like, I knew nothing about financial literacy. And so when we started to look at goal is freedom, how do we do that? And this is where I began to create my framework and what I'm teaching others now. This was the origin of the framework. And at the time, I called it vision planning. I have new names for it now, but it's essentially being able to have extreme clarity around what you want, understanding the deeper meaning of why that matters to you so deeply, why you're touched by that, right? And then looking to others who've accomplished what you've done. If it's financial freedom, who on the planet has solved this problem in a way that I like the way they did it, with honesty and integrity and truth-telling, and didn't rip anyone off, and just did it in a real way, and but did it at a young age, did it quickly, right? How do you do that? So I found examples of people who have done that for themselves through entrepreneurship, through investing, and started to study their examples and started to create my strategy. How I wanted to do it, how our family was going to do it. And we got really excited about real estate, about owning rental properties, about doing that in a way where we took care of our tenants by providing a really quality home that we cared deeply about. And not just like a crappy home, but we wanted to fix them up and make them really nice, and then grow the equity in those properties, use the rents to pay for the home and to pay for our passive income. And we were really excited about that as an asset class. So my wife became a realtor and started studying real estate inside and out. We started going to real estate investing courses, starting to learn the trade. How does this work? We started to reduce our lifestyle to the point where the bare essentials is all we lived off of. We didn't buy any new cars. We didn't go on vacations. We saved every single penny we possibly could get our hands on to invest into our future of freedom.
Mm.
And then within just a short few years, we had enough money saved up to buy our first rental property.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it in our conversation.
Yeah, and we bought in a sub-market. They're a little bit cheaper than, the coastal California where we live. And it had great ROI. We learned how to set it up and do it, created a property management company to manage it. And that was 2012 or 13. So we've been doing that for about 11, 12 years now. We would buy one or two a year and just build up and build up and build up to what we have now that totally pays for our life. And I unlocked entrepreneurship, and my business became more and more successful, and I was able to reinvest those the income I started to make into the cash flowing properties. And so we eventually were able to find freedom in about 7 years, I think it took us. And I was able to retire in my late 30s.
Powerful.
And that's a way different life.
Mm-hmm.
My health started to return to me. I started to get vitality again. I started to be able to work out again. I started to be able to sleep again. The stress started to reduce out of my life. I started to have more meaning, more fulfillment. I had a more relaxed lifestyle. It wasn't 100-hour work weeks. Now there are no work weeks.
Yeah.
So it's the framework that I created was able to pull out of my wife and I a mission for our family, a vision for our family that we were really inspired by, that we wanted to throw our life force into to create. And now I teach other people how to do it.
Yeah.
I've did it I've mentored and coached people all along, for years and years now, showing them what I've unlocked. I did most of it for free just to help my friends.
Yeah.
Just to help my community. Anyone who wanted to come to my door, I was helping. It's like, oh, let's do a vision plan. I'll show you the framework, show you how to do it. And several of my friends have found their own freedom. And maybe that wasn't their goal, they had another goal. I helped a friend of mine be able to, he had a relationship goal in your work.
Yeah.
I helped him find his ideal partner.
Yeah.
His life partner, his dream partner.
Yeah. So many don't take the time to actually get clarity.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Or they stop at clarity.
Yeah.
And then have a crappy plan that they take very little to no action on and then give up.
Yeah. Because they see no results on the lack of action.
Because the plan maybe isn't in their wheelhouse, or maybe it's too big for them instead of broken down into small steps that they actually can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts where you can go off, or maybe the dream isn't a priority in their life. It gets stuck on the bottom rung of the to-do list instead of it coming first. I've seen that.
They're kind of putting their dreams on the back burner instead of
sticking it on the table, collecting dust, and working on it for 20 minutes a week.
Yeah.
That will go nowhere.
Yeah, it's true.
That will go nowhere.
Man.
So how does your dream come first? You have to prepare and structure and set up your life so it can.
Yeah.
Right? And this is all part of my framework.
Yeah.
How do you, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm so curious because during that time, you and your wife were still together during this entire time when you were working the hectic lifestyle or working the hours that led to how you were feeling. How did you navigate the relationship and
So I
business?
was single for the first 3 years.
Okay.
And I was basically a monk. I was not dating. I actually intentionally stopped dating. I was actually celibate during this time. And I was pursuing my inner journey very deeply. I was healing a lot of just wounds and traumas that I experienced, things that I witnessed as a kid that I didn't like, all that kind of stuff. So I did all that healing work. I really wanted to be with a life partner.
You were intentional.
And despite my best efforts, I was not good at relationships. And so how do I become exceptional at something I'm not good at? Is I need to find others who have done it and study what they've learned and apply those skills to myself. And a lot of it was, how do I want to relate to myself? So I started to in a weird, corny way, like dated myself.
Oh, I don't think it's
Right?
funny at all. I actually have an exercise where men date themselves, and it requires them taking themselves out.
I had no idea that that's a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally was like, who, because the kind of partner that I wanted to be, I don't think would have chosen who I was.
That's powerful.
Right?
I'm asking.
I was a party guy when I was really young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I, would, I didn't know how to communicate very well. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I didn't really know how to have an authentic voice. I was very kind of hidden, I had a lot of walls up around me. I was kind of edgy. And so and then the kind of women I was attracting were mirroring a lot of that. They had their walls up, they were hidden.
Relationships are mirrors.
Right. So when I started to drop the facade, when I started to drop the layers of crap that was around my heart, it came to my own aid first. What do you need, little buddy?
Yeah.
The guy inside here.
Yeah.
What do you need? What do you need today? Do you need a hug?
Yeah.
do you need do you need gentleness? What do you need? Right? And I started just giving that to myself over and over and over and over again. So the way I started to take care of myself, and I started to treat my body like a temple. I stopped drinking, which I haven't used alcohol in 19 years now. I don't put substances or pour food in my body. I take it for a walk. I exercise it. I try to treat it with such care.
You treat yourself like someone you love.
Yeah, I started to love myself, right, and to understand how to do that. And I found teachers, coaches to help me. So I didn't know how to do that on my own.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of therapy type work during that time. And I intentionally said, I don't think I can find who I am in a relationship, so I intentionally stopped dating. I said no to every single opportunity. And literally I was celibate for 3 years. At 26 to 29. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, because those are the years that
my testosterone was pretty high during
it.
It was a practice of how to retain that energy. That's where I poured it into entrepreneurship. So I was building a company. I was also building myself at the same time.
This became an external expression.
Yeah, I felt really good about who I was becoming. I rose the bar of integrity in my life. Became an honest person. I became a compassionate person. I became more loving, more gentle, more kind to people, not just to myself, but to the people around me. I wanted to have more authentic expressions. I wanted to be seen, and I wanted to see others. If I want to be seen, I have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I learned how to be vulnerable with people and to say things that are hard to say, to show things. This is where it hurts, dude.
Yeah.
This is where pain exists in me. And I got very, very comfortable in that space. It was, as you try something new, it's awkward, it's hard. I fumbled my words. I'm shaky. I'm like, I don't really know how to talk. This is like a really hard thing to say, and then it starts to smooth out as you practice, and now I just live in that state. I don't want inauthentic relationships in my life. I don't want to be around people who want to harm me or who want to lie or cheat. Those aren't my values. I don't want to lie or cheat. I want to be open and honest with people and do the best that I can. And so when that transformation started to happen in my internal, my attraction changed of the kind of partner that I wanted to be with deeply changed. Like I wanted to be with a very high integrity person. I wanted to be with someone who's doing their own work, who's holding themselves accountable. It could hold me accountable. I wanted to be with a strong woman who had a spine, stood up for herself. I'm a strong person. I did not want to be in imbalanced relationship where someone's steamrolling the other person and having all the control and all that. I wanted to really be in this 50-50 relationship where we both were contributors. We both came to the table with our talents and our ambitions and our inner skills. We both come with spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, and can handle conflict and can handle difficult conversations with grace. And we can grow through failure together, that we can put difficult things on the table if there's a need that's not being met. We have a way of talking about that without screaming at each other.
Yeah,
without
there is another way.
Without like that turning into a battle. Holding space for one another. This is all skill development.
Yeah.
And so I met my wife at that school that I was going to, where I was learning. She was on her path and I was on mine. And then
divine timing.
We met in the middle. And at the end of that, when that program finished, I asked her to be with me. And I was ready for that I was ready for the relationship of my life. And she was too. And we came together, and it's just been, of course, we've definitely have bumped heads and we've had arguments and disagreements. We are human, but it has been a blissful 15 years, man. We are so in alignment and sync together with what we want to create together, what we want to create as individuals, but also what we want to create together. Who we are, our personalities, like what she thrives and flourishes in is not really particularly what I do well at. And what I do well at is not really what her strength is. We offset each other so beautifully, and we've identified that and allowed for each other to like expand in those lanes so we can flourish at what we're good at. And the things that we aren't good at, the other is. So they take it on and enjoy doing it. So it's just like, it's just been probably the greatest achievement of my life is this relationship.
That's powerful.
Hands down. And I've made millions of dollars, and I've live in a fantastic home, and I have an incredible life in many ways. But this was the single greatest accomplishment I've ever pulled off.
That's beautiful.
Hands down.
That's
to have
beautiful.
a relationship that is just so dreamy. It's so beautiful.
And you can tell, like, when you guys are together.
Yeah.
Like, you can see it. It exudes off both of you.
We really like each other.
Yeah.
We really love each other.
I mean, the little things. I was sitting on the couch and her foot coming out with
right.
conversation. It's like those nuances. You guys desire each other. You have compassion. There's also compromise on things, too.
Yes.
Just like anything. And I think many people lose sight of, like, the perfect relationship is going to be perfect. And
I wouldn't even use that word.
Yeah.
I don't think that describes a relationship at all. I think our relationship is very imperfect. And I think where it really, really works well is just we've had thousands and thousands of hours of conversation and communication. And we've talked about I don't have that woman, I bared my soul to that woman. There's no secret in me. She knows everything, the embarrassing shit, the shameful stuff, the stuff I don't ever want to tell anybody. She knows everything about me, and I know that about her. And she loves those parts.
Yeah.
That's the parts she loves the most. And I'm in shock. Like when I'm first learning how to disclose who I am to her, all of me. And she's like, that's why I want to be with you. So I want to see every part of you. That's where I want to that's because that's who you are. I don't want to just see the surface. I want to see what's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I want to see what's in that dark room.
Yeah.
I want to see, and to have that kind of safety and trust, be able to disclose everything to someone, and I've learned so much from her. I wouldn't say that I was, my strength is I'm a capable visionary. I can see things that don't exist and I can go create them.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's strength is she is community oriented. His relationships is her strength.
Mm.
I was never that good at I could just go live by myself.
Yeah.
And be a monk.
Yeah.
I could go live in a cave and be happy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be around people.
How this entrepreneur traded in his beachfront home for a cave.
So, like, I've always was sort of a homebody, and like I could definitely probably a mix, right? I could definitely be extroverted, and I can enjoy that, but that's not my natural inclination. My wife taught me about relationships and how to listen, and how to how the small things matter. And like, I'll give you an example. There's 2 floors in our house, and her computer charger might be upstairs. I'm like sunk into the couch, watching a game or something. And she'd be like, "Can you get my charger for me?" And I'm like, "I don't want to get off the couch." I'm like, my initial reaction is, "No, get it yourself."
Yeah.
I know that small gesture means so much. That I learned that matters, and I'm willing to make that tiny little sacrifice, get off the couch and go upstairs and get the charger for her. And I see how she responds to it. She lights up. These small acts of service is actually her love language. And so, by doing that, like little thing, and I do that all the time. And in return, she does incredible things for me. She's incredible. The way that
small details are part of the bigger picture.
I just realize do I want to say no to the woman that I'm so in love with to get her a charger?
See, and it's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're making a great point.
Like, I really want to just say no.
Yeah.
And be rude about it.
Yeah.
Or do I want to own my reaction and have some emotional maturity? I say, this is really what makes my wife happy, these little things. Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I respond with, absolutely, I'll get that for you. And I've gotten better at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it takes time.
I've gotten better at that. When I try to respond, absolutely. Absolutely.
Although, I mean, it's natural in your mind, like, really? Laying on the couch, I'm sunk in, but you're able to have the awareness that, like, hey, these small details mean a lot to her, and reciprocity is a real thing.
Yes, and that's her love language. It's acts of service. My love language is words of affirmations. She loves it.
Yeah.
Every morning I greet her with, like, freaking poetry. Just tell her what I feel about her in that moment. Words fly out of me. So it's like, I just say what I'm feeling in that moment, and I'll just tell her. And I tell her I love her, and I hug her and kiss her every single day. Every morning we wake up, it's the first thing I do. It just sets the tone. Like, we don't call each other names. We aren't sarcastic with each other. We don't put each other down. We don't believe in that. We aren't cruel to each other. There's a lot of beauty and softness and care and love. We work on growing the love in our marriage, in our home, and we literally try to fall in love with each other every single day by doing these small things. My words of affirmation, her acts of service, so on and so on.
Yeah, you're able to continue to nurture the relationship because all great things take time.
Yeah, it's a garden, and it needs to be watered to flourish, or it will dry out and die out.
Yeah. Man, there's so much goodness from what you shared, but what really sticks out is empathy and values and realigning. Like, those are things that are consistent, whether it was in your business, it came back to the empathy, values, and aligning those. In your relationship, it came back to compassion, values, and realigning those when it came to the next vision. And it's like your paradigm of life has led you down the path that you're on, and it's just interesting because sometimes it takes people until they're later on in their life to realize, I didn't have a vision for this. What are my values around this? I'll ask guys, what are your values? Is this in alignment with your values? And they're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, like what are your values? Like, what is it that you stand for? And what I'm hearing is you were able to really, I think it started when you were a kid and you were like, I want a bigger life than this. It started with the dream, and you started to see individuals that had that. And I'm just curious, was it nurtured? Was it something that was a learned skill set, or was it just, I'm seeing that I need to fall back on something that's bigger than myself?
It evolved from pain. I had experienced brokenheartedness, and the devastation of that pain led me to have some greater questions around what is love. To have some greater questions around what's the purpose of my life, and how come I'm so bad at relationships and love, and I keep failing and not working, and I just wanted more. I don't know if my frontal lobe finally became fully developed at 25 or 6 years old, and I'm finally like having access to larger parts of my brain. I don't know, right? All I know is I did not want to feel like shit another single day. And I didn't want to just go drink alcohol and coping mechanisms and just go have cheap sex and go have... I didn't want that junk food. I wanted the real taste. I wanted to taste the nourishment that I knew existed because I read it in books.
Yeah.
I knew it existed, but I had never tasted it. And I wanted to deeply experience that. And so I didn't know how to do it for myself. And this is before I started my company. I had a job right before. I was like a teacher. And a colleague of mine, I was sharing what I was going through, this heartbreak. Says, you should really talk to my friend who's a Sufi healer. And she's really good when it comes to matters of the heart. I'm like, well, I have a matter of the heart that's unresolved. So I'm open to meeting with this person. And I met this this woman who was like, I think a grandmother at the time, just unassuming, didn't look like the Dalai Lama or anything, just an unassuming, like, grandmotherly type of person. But her eyes were just so different. There was like kindness, a way that I remember talking to her. Now I know what she was doing. She was holding space for me, energetically holding space for me to be able to empty myself, to say what's in the heart, what's happening, without judgment, without shaming someone, just listening. And so that was the first time I ever was listened to or heard in that way. And I just wanted to keep talking. I'm like, oh, you're not making fun of me? You're not judging me? You're not like being harsh towards me as I'm saying something that it's really hard to say? And no, I say more. And so it was allowed to really talk about what was happening to someone for the first time. And then that led to her wanting to teach me meditation, Sufi remembrance, called the practice of remembrance. And it's about not necessarily emptying yourself like meditation. It's about filling yourself. It's like filling your cup with the qualities of the divine, with compassion, love, mercy. And what that's like internally to be full of that. And so she taught me this practice, this meditation, and for the first time I had an internal experience that was bigger than myself, that was beyond my normal way of thinking, just how my normal thoughts, I have the same damn thoughts every single day, and I'm perseverating on the same shit every day, and it's pissing me off the same every day. And so how do I break this spell? And this practice, she was like this guided meditation, and it was chanting and guided meditation, and it was like I was falling deeper and deeper and deeper into myself. All that noise just sort of shut off, became very quiet. And the only voices that were left were just like these angelic voices of like just loving energy. It was like the self-talk turned into how much the divine cared about me.
So
I
powerful.
never felt that before.
Yeah.
And then that like cracked open this space inside me that was even deeper than that. And now I'm on this mystical journey inside myself. And I'm starting to travel and I'm starting to explore this energy. And now there's no thoughts anymore. There's no feel. I'm just in ecstasy. I'm in pure bliss. Just floating in this bliss. And I'm like, this like unconditional container of love. And I was like, whoa. What is this? Wow. And I'm so gone. I can't even move a single fiber of my being. I'm so still. I don't want to move to break whatever's happening.
Yeah.
I'm so like in this subtle reality. And I finally came out of that. And I was still, when I opened my eyes and I was orienting into my room and back into my body and like seeing the space that I'm in. And I am just so in this other world. The heartbreak was not there anymore. I was not concerned about it when I didn't even think about it. It's gone. The pain that I thought this person was causing me, all I had was unconditional love for that person. I didn't have any thoughts of like ill regrets or ill thoughts towards this person. I was completely in utter just beauty, like a garden of just intoxicating bliss. Now that did wear off. It wore off after a few hours, but that started my journey. And I'm like, I want to know this. I want to live there. That's where I want to make my home. And I want to declare residency in there and live the rest of my life feeling the way that I felt. And I'm like, who could teach me that? And it's this woman's like, you can go to the school that I went to. This is where I studied it. I enrolled into that school. I studied with the master there who founded the school. Taught me, I went there for 4 years. And that's been now 20 years. Been on that path. That transformation, every day I'm working towards it, living more and more and more connected and aligned with that state.
I love that so much. And what I'm hearing is you had to connect with yourself deeply internally, and that became the internal expression of everything that happened externally. It had to happen on the inside first. And I think a lot of people believe they need to get all the things outside before they can be that person they want to be.
It's so cliche, right? Your inside reflects your outside, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah,
it's absolutely
I agree.
True. Feel the energy in it. You
took
to our
me.
home. You seem like I literally live in a peaceful sanctuary.
Yeah,
my relationships are peaceful. I'm peaceful.
Yeah.
My business relationship, my business partner is my best friend.
Yeah.
We've never had a fight, an argument. We have had disagreements, but we've never fought. We've never yelled at each other. We've never cheated each other. It's been an honest, open relationship because I am honest and open. I want to be.
Yeah.
Anywhere where it's not, that's where we're like, what are we not telling each other the truth? How are you really feeling about this?
Yeah. You're so intentional with the dialogue you use. Like the example, we haven't had arguments, we've had disagreements. So commonly people won't understand the power of dialogue. Like a disagreement's not an argument. People are going to have disagreements.
We disagreed over big things.
Yeah.
And he's my partner. I care about him. I want to understand what he's feeling in this. Like I'm taking stake, and of course, like your opinion and your feelings matter deeply to me. And we have a difference. So how are we saying the same thing?
Just in a different way.
Maybe we are. Is what I'm trying to say landing? Maybe by being misheard. I try to understand. Okay, no, he hears me, and he still disagrees. Okay, what is his need that he needs that I'm not seeing? Oh, That's what he needs. Hey, dude, I totally get that. We don't move forward until that need is met. How would that feel? It's like, dude, I can move forward if that gets met. Great, let's do it. Okay, done. And now
Conflict resolution.
It's resolved. His needs being met, my needs being met. It's emotional maturity.
Yeah.
You want to react, you can react, right? You want to just have a reaction and blow someone up. Totally, go. You can do it.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably not gonna. You're probably not gonna feel good about that afterwards.
Yeah.
You things settle down. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so embarrassed.
Yeah. You send a text. Hey, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Right. And it's like, and that's human. And there's
Yeah.
and I've done that, and that's how I've learned. And as these skills grow and you practice them with people who want to grow and practice with you, some people don't.
Yeah.
And I have had 2 partners in my life, my wife, my marriage, and my business partner. And they're all, my business partner is now 19 years going on. After we sold the company, we did some other things together. And my wife's is, I think, a total of 16, 17 years, including dating and marriage. And so, that's it.
Yeah. That's it. I guess my final question for you, because, dude, this has been an incredible conversation, and I just appreciate your time. What would you tell someone, a young Matt, who may be in a similar position as you? He's in a 900 square foot apartment. He's probably working at a bar as a bar back, doing something in PB. Who knows?
I did live in PB.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. That's the starter. San Diego starter kit.
Yeah,
right?
that's the starter kit. PB, 900 square foot.
Early 20s.
Yeah, maybe splitting the master bedroom in 2.
Yeah.
But what would you tell him, that young version of you, someone that has aspirations for the things that you have, that maybe want the chunked down version?
The first thing I would do is give him a hug and say, man, everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. I got you. Right? Just some belief.
Yeah.
Second thing I would do is teach him the framework right away. What do you really, really want? Let's talk about that. Right? Let's get that on the table. And let me help you unlock that out of yourself. You may not be able to access that, and you need some help. I'm here to help you access that. Now that that's out on the table, what you really, really want, let's start to put together the strategy. That's like a bulletproof strategy that you can do, that you're capable of. That's not bigger than you.
Yeah.
Micro steps, and the steps that you can take every day towards that. And let's start to make this a priority. So this comes first. Okay? And let's set up your life and prepare yourself so you can take this journey.
Yeah.
And when you're on this journey, let's get you some support so you can stay inspired if you hit a bump in the road. So let's have a strategy for how to stay inspired. I just give them the blueprint.
Yeah.
That's what I would give them. That took me years to get it took me probably 4 or 5 years to get that blueprint.
Yeah.
So I would have gave them the shortcut.
Yeah. I mean, Simon Sinek wasn't even around then, so you couldn't even refer to like anything of substance.
I would give them the framework on day one, and that would have saved me a lot of time.
I love it, man.
A massive shortcut in my life.
I love it. So if they need to, how can someone get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram, matt.winkley. That's probably the best place. You can find me on Facebook, Matt Winkley. I will be coming out with a YouTube channel, and a podcast will be launching there shortly. But follow my journey on Instagram. My DMs are open. I love connecting with people.
Yeah.
And
DM him the word podcast if you heard it on this podcast.
Great suggestion. Yeah. Let's do that.
And actually, I believe in the law of giving and receiving, so I brought something for you.
Oh.
You mentioned the word happiness so much.
Oh my gosh.
So I know this guy that once upon a time
Let's put this here so our viewers
wrote
can
a
see
book.
it.
I believe that the drive to connect is in all of us, and a smile is a curve that sets everything
Is this your
straight.
book?
This is my book.
Oh!
So you kept mentioning happiness, and I brought it for you before you mentioned all of that. And the way I see it is, a smile is a curve that sets everything straight. And this is the antithesis of the journey before everything I'm doing now. And how I learned during that time that really, I think happiness is something that we lose sight of. Like, what's the thing that makes me happy? And I synthesize it in this down to, if I repeated today 1,000 times, would I be happy with where I'm at the end of it?
Yeah.
And that was the question that I found myself asking in the very beginning of that, when I had all the things that I thought I wanted that would make me happy. And I was literally standing on the edge of a penthouse that I lived in, where years before I was walking on the street. And I said, when I live there, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
And there I was 6 years later, standing on the balcony of that penthouse, watching the sunset, and I looked down and saw someone walking. I was like, I was so much happier when I was that guy. And so that was the wake-up call for me, and I'd shared with you the tumultuous journey after that I won't get into. But in the end of it, I had realized I really just wanted to be happy. And somewhere along the way of striving to become everything I thought I wanted to be, I lost sight of that and got more oriented towards nothing, really. It was like when a machine is consistently rolling and you don't know how to stop it. It was like a runaway train, and it had no way to run away.
Yes.
It was a wild experience. We'll have to talk about it on part 2.
Brother, let's together help raise the bar of happiness
Let's do it.
for others. And that's the world I want to live in, where people can live a life that they are ridiculously and unbelievably happy, which is a synonym for living a divinely inspired life.